What's up, guys? This is Bowden Built Garage coming back at you with another little YouTube video. Do you want your 6-liter LS to make more power? Do you have a Gen 3, Gen 4? Do you have a Cathedral Port LS60? And do you want it to make more power on a budget? Today, we're going to get into it just how you can do that. So as you guys can tell, got a new microphone. I've heard the feedback in the last video. I've actually got a microphone that clips on to my shirt. Um, it's a little cold out here. I didn't have my heater going. I didn't want it to mess with the audio, so hopefully this comes through good. So you want your 6-liter LS to make more power, right? And you want to do it on a budget. Do you have Cathedral Port 317s on your head? Then this video is probably for you. Are you looking into it? Are you doing research? Is that what you want to do? Then this video is probably for you. This little motor right here is a Gen 3.5 6-liter. It's in my 88 Foxbody I call Snowcone coupe. It is a stock truck manifold, 3-bolt throttle body, 317 heads. The only thing that these heads have is a double return or double 660 platinum valve spring from BTR with titanium retainers. It does have a small camshaft in it, and as of right now, it probably makes 700 to 800 horsepower. On 15 pounds of boost estimated. Never been on a dyno before. I tune the car myself. I wrench on it myself. I drive it. But we're going to see if we can make a little bit more power with it. I'm going to show you a little bit of my road trip going and picking up these heads. I picked up these LS3 cylinder heads for $650. So I've been driving for like 6 hours, and we're going to go get some car parts for Snowcone. I've already picked them up, so I don't know if you guys can see the giant trash bag. Yeah, we're going to make Snowcone fast. On Summit's website, actually, right now, these cylinder heads go for $1,100 a piece. That's brand new. They don't have any valve springs in them either, I don't believe, and I don't think they come with rockers. This came with rockers. As you can tell, that's not a good. That kind of looks like a normal Cathedral Port rocker. So you can see how this has a kickoff to it. Your LS3 rockers will have that kickoff to it because it's the way the valves are. And these heads, so they got like a little bit of offset on them. Your Cathedral ports will just have straight rockers. Your LS3s will be kicked off a little bit. Now let's compare them. Our flow numbers on LS3 heads compared to these 317s are probably a little bit similar. But the thing is, the combustion chamber on your LS3s are a little bit bigger. Your LS3 rack port heads, no matter what, are always going to outflow a Cathedral port because your Cathedral port comes up to a point. Your rack port's just a giant square. It allows airflow to flow through those heads so much more. And right here, what I got is a matching truck intake. Now, see how these intakes have long runners on them? You can kind of see it. It's probably covered up by the fuel rail, but these truck manifolds are actually really good because they got long runners on them, and it allows it to make power through the whole entire RPM range. Now your LS3 manifolds are going to do the same thing, but let's just say you got a truck motor, it's a 6-liter. You're going to have truck spacing. If you try to put a LS manifold, like a LS3 manifold on the rec port top end, and you have truck spacing, you're going to interfere with the water pump neck that comes out, and your throttle body is going to end up interfering, like your air intake throttle, the pipe that comes off the throttle body is going to end up interfering with the water neck, and that's just something that happens. And believe it or not, your truck manifolds are going to make a little bit more power through the whole RPM range compared to LS3 manifold. But then again, some people, like if you got a fourth gen F body, like I've had a lot of them, your truck manifolds ain't gonna clear because the cow's so, like it kind of, the engine hangs back in the cow a little bit. So it all depends on what your personal preference is. LS3 manifolds are still great and you can pick them up for cheap, but the truck manifolds are a really good option if you're trying to stay under the budget and you just want it to make a little bit more power. So your Gen 4 rec port truck intakes are very similar to your Cathedral port Trailblazer SS intake. A lot of people say that's a big upgrade compared to your 3-bolt throttle body intake. That's like right here. That's what's on this car. This is very similar to a Trailblazer SS intake, but it's just rec port instead of Cathedral port. Set it right here so I can get a better view. So yeah, this is 4-bolt. These are factory, I believe 90 or 92 millimeter throttle bodies. And it's a 4-bolt, so you got a lot more options for your intake manifolds. You don't want to put a giant throttle body on a manifold that's only meant to hold like a 70 or 75 to 77, which is what this one is. These you can put 90s to 92s. I believe if you put a 102 on this manifold, though, you're just necking it down and you're not gaining anything from it. So these manifolds are actually really good. I know they're not pretty. Everybody knows they're not pretty. But these manifolds are really good because if you watch Richard Holdner's test, these manifolds make power all the way through the RPM range, but the only thing people don't like about them is they don't look as pretty as a Holley High Rise or, BTR Trinity. They're all really pretty intakes, but these intakes, I picked this one up for $20. And compared to your Holley High Rams, which are $1,500–$1,600, that's a pretty good deal. This thing's going to make way more power than that 3-bolt truck manifold that's already on it, along with those heads. And we'll get into the specs here in a minute. These heads are, I believe, a 68 cc. I can't remember. I'll look up the specs, but see how these are. These are rec port heads, and this is Cathedral. These will outflow those by a long shot, and that's what's going to mainly wake this car up the most, are these heads, especially when... See, the thing that I think a lot of people get confused about is Boost don't care. Boost just cares about flow. And when you take something like this that's neck down and you open it up to 90-something millimeter throttle body, it's going to flow a lot more air. And that, along with the rec port heads, they're going to flow 10 times as more, because you got to think, a Cathedral is like this. It's got like a point. It comes up to a point. Your rec ports are just open, kind of like your old what are they, like your LS6 big block heads. They what do they call them, peanut heads? You can just tell that the intake ports are way bigger. Now the main thing that everybody gets confused on is like your Cathedral port versus rec port. Your 6-liter LS's, these motors came with a whole bunch of different things. You could get them in Cathedral port top ends. You could get them in rec port top ends. Now your rec port top end 6.0s are going to be like your, like I said, PPVs, Camaro SS's, SS sedans, and I'm sure there's more out there that I'm missing. But this is a truck motor. This is a Gen 3.5, which is a really good, kind of rare LS. It's got your Gen 4 rods, it's got Gen 4 pistons, Gen 4 crank, but it still uses 24X reluctor. I'm sorry, no. It's still got a 24X reluctor crank in it, and it's still technically a Gen 3, but Gen 3 cranks are still really good. But this is a 24X crank with Gen 4 rods and pistons, which means it'll hold a lot more power than your typical 6-liter LS that's got your thin rods in it. You're like your really early 6-liter LS's. This I've already spun this motor to 7,000 and it doesn't care. And I plan on spinning it even higher once I get the valve springs and lifters and all that stuff put in it. But let's go ahead and talk about it a little bit. Now, you might be asking yourself, how can you tell the difference between the heads? So we'll get into that. So here's the first way. See how that has a 823 stamp number in there? I don't know, where's my light? If you're just looking at these in junkyards and you're trying to figure it out, see how that one had a 823 stamp number? This has a 317 stamp number. That's your first indication that the heads are going to be different. Now, if the heads are off, and you'd be able to tell a really big difference this way. That's rec port. See how it looks like a square? Now, this is a cathedral port. See how it comes up to a point? See how that is a square? This is a 317 that I had laying around, as a matter of fact. There we go. You see the number right here. 317. So, cathedral port compared to a rec port. Now, see how skinny this is and how this comes up to a point? Don't you think that'd be a lot more airflow? See how much more open that is compared to that? And that's the name of the game, everybody. It's airflow. That's all you're trying to do with the boosted LS. You're just trying to move more air as much as you can as possible. Now, your CNC aftermarket cylinder heads are going to move way more air than any of these two will. But if you're trying to stay under a budget like I am, I always am. I'm trying to look for new ways to go faster for cheap. And that's the name of, I'm pretty sure everybody tries to do that. The thing about it is, your aftermarket cylinder heads, especially when you get into the CNC machining, I mean, I think Frankenstein heads can come up to like $5,500, $6,000 in just a pair of cylinder heads. These things were $600, freshly machined, ready to go. All you got to do is throw in a set of valve springs and a trunnion upgrade, and you can spin these things 7,000 plus all day long, and they'll live forever. Now, hopefully, this coming up racing season, I'll have this thing completely done, and maybe we'll finally set it on a dyno. But that's all I got for you guys today. Hopefully, you guys took away from something from this that will make sense to you. Hopefully, this helps you. I've done a lot of LS research, and as you can see, I have a LS tattoo. I'm an LS nut. I love LSs. I think they're simple and they make really good power for what they are. The thing about them is they're small. They can fit in a lot of places where other engines can't. They're very small, but they make good power. I think that's why everybody LS swaps them, and that's why they get the hate that they do, because they're actually very simple. They're not hard to work on. But hopefully you guys took away something from this video and it helps you. That's all I'm trying to do here is help. And thank you for sticking with me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. God bless you guys. Happy holidays. And we'll see you in the next one.